Hello there, amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new episode in everything I own of every season of Doctor Who. And today I'm going to be talking about Season 7. Yes, Season 7, and I'm going to be showing you what I own from the Target books to the VHS range, to the DVD range, and to the Blu-ray range, if this season's got one in Blu-ray. Some of you might not know this, but some of you do, but, you know, you never know. So anyway, Season 7, now what can I say for it? Well, it is the very first beginning to the Jon Pertwee era. It is the start of the 1970s era of Doctor Who. We have the very first appearance of the Autons in this season. We've got the very first parallel story where the TARDIS ends up taking the Doctor into a parallel universe and he does see that destruction. And of course, we also meet the Silurians for the very first time, and we also have some really, really dodgy ambassadors of death. So yes, welcome to everything I own from Season 7. So let's dive into it, shall we? So let's go into the Target book range. Now, this season only has four stories over its period of time. And these stories go from a 4-part story, and then we have 3 long stories that are 7 parts long. And so I'm going to show you what I own of each story through the Target book range, and then the DVD range, and then the VHS range. So, Target book range, I actually own Doctor Who and the Auton Invasion, which is actually the Target book adaptation of Spearhead from Space. I absolutely do love reading this book. It makes the nesting consciousness so much more massive to, like, fridge your eyes, and you see them on screen with the big tentacle when it wraps itself around Jon Pertwee. And there is a little page in here, like a picture, where you kind of have Jon Pertwee escaping from the Autons in the hospital when they're trying to kidnap him. And this story does follow on from the finale of Season 6, the War Games, where we saw the Time Lord's exile the 3rd Doctor. As well as I have got Doctor Who and the Cave Monsters, which is the Target book adaptation of Doctor Who and the Silurians. I have to admit, I really love the Target book of this story. And to be honest with you, I've got a review coming out on this Target book, so I'm not really going to dive in. Now, unfortunately, I do not own the 3rd story on Target book, which is, of course, the Ambassadors of Death. But I do own, on Target book, one of my favourite stories from Season 7, my second favourite story from this season, Inferno. I absolutely do like Inferno. I mean, the Doctor gets taken into a parallel universe where basically it sees the whole destruction, and I really love this Target book, and it is written by Terrance Dicks. And that is it for the Target book range. So talking about what I own on VHS wise, so let's dive into it. So for VHS, which this one did come out, I believe this is one of the early ones. It is Spearhead from Space. I absolutely do like that Auton image of the head. It makes the Autons look so creepy there on the VHS. You got an Auton pointing a gun at the Doctor. I absolutely love this story on VHS. I mean, if you look at the back of the imagery, I love that when you just got it shooting. And of course, you've got the Doctor and Liz Shaw there. And imagine if Jon Pertwee kept wearing a hat during his run. That would absolutely look awesome. And then, of course, the next story I own on VHS from this is, of course, Doctor Who and the Silurians, which was the very first time it was released into colour. Yes, for a very, very long time, this story exists in black and white, and then it actually exists into colour when it came out on the VHS in 1993. I absolutely love this story. It's absolutely brilliant. So we've got Doctor Who and the Silurians. The next story that I own on VHS. Now, this one, I actually got this. This is the last VHS I got for Season 7. I got it in a bundle with a load of other stories from the Tom Baker, William Hartnell. I had all 7 Doctors in it. And, of course, I managed to get myself Doctor Who, the Ambassadors of Death. I absolutely do like that artwork with the astronauts going towards the rocket. You've got the Brigadier and you've got Jon Pertwee smiling. Look at that. I absolutely love that VHS cover. I love the whole orangey colour, orangey yellow bleeding around the cover. I do like that. And then the final story I own on VHS is Inferno. And yeah, this one came out in 1994, so a year later after Doctor Who and the Silurians. I have to admit, I actually have watched this on VHS, and I noticed some difference between this copy and the 2 DVD copies I've got. So I might be doing a video talking about the difference between this VHS copy and how it's been digital remastered into the DVD formats. And then luckily when season 7 comes out on Blu-ray, I'm hoping season 7 is not too far long away. I really would like that in 2 years' time for Jon Pertwee. And as something that none of you might know, I actually own all of season 7 on VHS. So there, all 4 stories of season 7 on VHS. How brilliant is that, eh? That's a whole season in one on VHS, which is something I'm absolutely glad to have in my collection. I got a whole season on VHS. Now, DVD wise, I own quite a bit of DVD, so let's dive into the DVD side of what I own for season 7. So I actually own the original Doctor Who and the Spearhead from Space DVD from the early 2000s. As you can tell, it's the early 2000s because you haven't got the little 2+ sign that later on become on part of the DVD range. So yeah, I got the original Doctor Who and Spearhead from Space on DVD, the original release of it. I have the special edition release of Spearhead from Space as well, with a much better artwork and a better cover. I absolutely love that artwork. I mean, look at the Autons right in the front of it, and I love the whole Auton sphere that is used for this story to literally activate the Autons. So yeah, I own 2 DVD versions of Spearhead from Space. Then of course, next on DVD, you can get this in a Doctor Who DVD box set called Beneath the Surface, and it is Doctor Who and the Silurians. Again, I actually prefer the VHS or like artwork compared to this DVD one, but it's not too bad, I suppose. It does have Jon Pertwee looking a bit solemn there, like he's just seen something and he's terrified. So yeah, we've got Doctor Who and the Silurians. And then of course we have the 3rd story on DVD, Doctor Who and the Ambassadors of Death. And this is, I believe this is the very first time we have it all in colour, because on the VHS, part of it's in colour and the last 3 episodes, which is episodes 5, 6 and 7, are actually in black and white on the VHS. And then when I watched it on DVD, I'm like, oh yeah, it's all in colour on the DVD. I actually think the colour version makes it look so much better than it does in black and white. But there again though, I actually do like black and white because of the Troughton and William Hartnell era. So I kind of like both versions of it. So when it does come out on Blu-ray, I'm actually hoping that we have the VHS copy of Doctor Who and the Ambassadors of Death, because I imagine the black and white's there, and then you can have got a colour version for those who want to watch it in colour. And then, of course, next I own Doctor Who and Inferno. Yes, here it is, Doctor Who Inferno, the original release from 2007. Look how Nicholas Courtney looks right there with the eye patch and the 3rd Doctor just hanging off a wall. Yeah, I really do like Inferno. It's a really good one. And lastly, for the DVD range, it is Inferno Special Edition with much more better artwork. Looking how Pertwee just looks so cool there. You got Nicholas Courtney as the Brigadier looking a bit like evilly. I love the whole creature point there that comes from the parallel universe. And you got the Earth destruction from the parallel Earth. And that is everything I own of the DVD range. So all 4 stories into, you know, 6 DVDs. 2 copies of Spearhead from Space and 2 copies of Inferno, the originals, and of course the special editions. And you're probably wondering, is that it for season 7 on DVD and Blu-ray and DVD, VHS and a lot? Well, no, because way back in 2013, we had the very first ever classic Doctor Who to come out on Blu-ray, up until 2018 when Doctor Who The Collection Range started, and it was, of course, Doctor Who Spearhead from Space, the only season 7 story that is actually out on Blu-ray at the moment, until Doctor Who The Collection comes out for season 7. And now that is officially everything I own, from the Target book range to the VHS, the DVDs, and of course now Blu-ray. I actually think I'm actually really proud of my season 7 collection, to own it on like all 4 stories on DVD 6 times, and to actually own all 4 stories on VHS as well. So that's one collection part of my Doctor Who collection I'm actually fully unhappy with the VHS range and of course the DVD range. So join me next time when I talk about everything I own from season 8 from 1971. Thank you for watching and have a cracking day, you amazing viewers and subscribers.